Instruments of the military band. The military band consists of woodwind, brass and percussion instruments. The woodwind instruments are flute, piccolo, oboe, clarinet, saxophone and bassoon. The brass instruments are French horn, cornet, trombone, euphonium and bass. Instruments such as the side drum, bass drum, timpani, cymbals etc. come under the category of percussion instruments. Let us listen to each of these instruments one by one. Flute. The name flute is derived from the word flauta, which is the Latin for lamprey, a small fish which has 7 holes in its body, corresponding with the holes on the flute. Flute is a wind instrument approximately 2 feet in length and is generally made of wood, ebonite or white metal, or for presentation purpose, silver and even gold. Piccolo. Piccolo is the highest pitched instrument in the military band. Piccolo is a small flute and sounds an octave higher than the written notes. It is for this reason that it is sometimes called the octave flute. Made of wood or ebonite, it is about half the length of the flute. E-flat clarinet. E-flat clarinet is similar to B-flat clarinet in appearance, although a bit smaller in length. In comparison with the B-flat clarinet, the E-flat clarinet requires more delicate and refined playing, otherwise the tone becomes harsh and blatant. Oboe. Oboe is a wind instrument of the double reed family. It is of considerable age and probably it is second in order of antiquity to the flute. Clarinets. The clarinet is the most important instrument used in the military band. The 2 types of clarinet generally used in military bands are E-flat and the B-flat clarinets. B-flat clarinet. B-flat clarinet is a wind instrument of about 26 inches in length. It is single reed instrument and a cylindrical reed pipe having the properties of a stopped pipe. It is made up of 5 parts: mouthpiece, barrel joint, top joint, bottom joint and a bell. Saxophones. Saxophone, both brass and reed, is a hybrid. It enjoys the distinction of being the most modern instrument in the military band. There are 2 types of saxophones used in military band: E-flat alto saxophone and B-flat tenor saxophone. E-flat alto saxophone. Alto saxophone is commonly used in classical music, military bands, marching band and jazz bands. Even Carnatic classical music has adopted alto saxophone. B-flat tenor saxophone. B-flat tenor saxophone is a medium-sized member of the saxophone family. The tenor saxophone, like all saxophones, consists of an approximately conical tube of thin brass. The wider end of the tube is flared slightly to form a bell, while the narrower end is connected to a single reed mouthpiece similar to that of the clarinet. At intervals, down the bore are placed between 20 and 23 tone holes, and these are covered by pads which can be pressed onto the holes to form an airtight seal. Bassoon. The bassoon is the bass of the double reed family. The length of the instrument from the tip of the bell to the end of the butt is about 50 inches. It serves as a beautiful bass to the woodwind section of the band. It is also very useful in toning down the brass to a more refined degree of playing. French horn. French horn is a wind instrument made of brass and occasionally of beaten silver or other metals. It has a conical bore and is circular in shape. The length of the instrument varies according to the pitch. The tone of the instrument is more poetic and romantic than any other musical instrument. It also bears a very close resemblance to the human voice. Because of its sheer size, metallic glaze, and unusual shape, a French horn is the most eye-catching instrument in a symphony orchestra. Cornet is comparatively modern and possesses no ancient history like the horn, trumpet, and trombone. The sound is produced by the breath passing between the player's lips, which forms an air column by their vibratory motion. The increased or released tension of the lips causes variation in the speed of the vibrations. This accounts for the height or depth of pitch through the conical tube of brass, silver, or other metal of about 56 inches in length. It is capable of producing tones of a martial character and can produce romantic, tender tones too. Trombone. Trombone is clearly related to the trumpet, hence the origin, the name, large trumpet, to which in its various tonalities it forms the tenor and bass. Trombone is generally made of brass. Occasionally, for special purposes, it is made of more expensive metals. It is played by means of a cup-shaped mouthpiece designed to give the trombone tone. There are two types of trombones used in military band: B-flat tenor trombone and bass trombone. B-flat tenor trombone. In this instrument, the slide, the most distinctive feature of the trombone, allows the player to extend the length of the air column, lowering the pitch. To prevent friction from slowing the action of the slide, additional sleeves were developed during the Renaissance, and these stockings were soldered onto the ends of the inner slide tubes. Let us listen how this instrument sounds. Bass trombone. The bass trombone is a natural bass of the trumpet family, and as such is a very important instrument in a concert. It forms a very fine bass to the quartet of brass. The length of the modern instrument is about 9 feet. There is usually one bass trombone in a standard symphony. Euphonium. Euphonium is a valved instrument. Valves are those protruded buttons which are pressed for tonal variations. Nearly all current models are piston valved, though rotary valved models do exist. The euphonium is a non-transposing instrument known for its distinctive tone color, wide range, variety of character and agility. The euphonium is a concert pitch instrument. It is usually made of brass. It is capable of great expression, having a full, rich tone. Bass. It is the principal bass instrument in band concerts and military bands. It is also an accompaniment instrument. In size, it is larger than the euphonium. The noteworthy feature of this instrument is that the bass produces the lowest note obtainable in the military band. Basses are used in marching bands and jazz bands. Let us now listen to the percussion instruments one by one. Side drum. Side drum is the smallest of the drums. It is cylindrical in shape but has no definite depth. At each side of the cylinder or shell is a parchment head, that is, a permanent piece of prepared sheep skin. The side drum is so called because the original military instrument was slung from the shoulder and worn angled at the player's sides. Bass drum. The instrument has a wooden shell of cylindrical shape, the depth being narrow in proportion to its diameter. The parchments are stretched at both ends over hoops, with tags and braces working on a long rope. The stick has a large head covered with felt. The bass drums are too large to be handled and are always mounted in some way. Cymbal. Cymbals are circular plates of an alloy of metals, of which the principal constituent is brass. There are various methods of playing the cymbal, but for marching purposes, the two cymbals are clashed together. Timpani. This is the most important instrument of the percussion family. It consists of a basin-shaped shell made of copper, across which a circular sheet of parchment is stretched. The head is lapped over a wooden hoop called the flesh hoop. This is held in position by a circular iron ring, and the whole is clamped down by a brass T-shaped screw. The pitch is produced by tightening or loosening the screws. At the bottom of the shell, a hole is pierced in order to lessen the violence of the air concussion and also for preventing the head from splitting. Pipes and drums band. Unlike the much elaborate and expansive military band, the pipes and drums are simple and sleek but equally enchanting. They predate the military band and have deeper roots in the evolution of the musical culture of various societies across continents. The ensemble constitutes, as the name suggests, the pipes and drums only. Bagpipe. This is one of the most ancient instruments in use by mankind. Most countries have bagpipes in one form or another. The original source of the wind supply is the mouth of the player applied to a valve tube. A bagpipe has the following main parts: pipe, bag, chanter and drones. It is a reed pipe wind instrument and interposed between the medium supplying the wind and the reed pipe is a bag or reservoir to provide a continuous supply of wind to the pipe. Side drum. Side drum is the smallest of the drums. It is cylindrical in shape but has no definite depth. At each side of the cylinder or shell is a parchment head, that is, a permanent piece of prepared sheep skin. The side drum is so called, was slung from the shoulder and worn angled at the player's sides. Tenor drum. The purpose of the tenor drums in the marching band is to add more color to the music. In appearance and size, it is midway between the side drum and bass drum. It is generally used in pipes and drums band. In a symphony orchestra percussion section, a tenor drum is a low-pitched drum. Bass drum. A bass drum is a large drum that produces a note of low definite or indefinite pitch. Bass drums are percussion instruments and vary in size and are used in several musical genres. A bass drum is cylindrical with the diameter much greater than the height. There is normally a struck head at both ends of the cylinder. The heads may be made of calf skin or plastic. The tension of the skin is adjusted by the threaded taps or strings. Bass drums are built in a variety of sizes, but the size has little to do with the volume produced by the drum. The size chosen is based on convenience and aesthetics. The bass drums are too large to be handled and are always mounted.